Harvard Divinity School changes my life every single day.
The ability to take courses outside of HDS and the fact that faculty and staff push you to take courses outside is really encouraging.
Being able to be in conversation with my Buddhist classmate or a Jewish classmate and seeing elements of their tradition that resonate with me is so powerful and enhance my identity as being Christian.
HDS, founded in 1816, is the second oldest of Harvard's professional schools. The Divinity School educates students for careers here and abroad as scholars, as teachers, chaplains, ministers, and leaders in a range of religious traditions. We also educate many professionals who enter service organizations, NGOs, government, and business as well, people involved in some of the most pressing issues of our time.
For me, it's also a place in which the humanities are embraced very vigorously, and the kinds of critical thinking, inquiry, question asking, assumption challenging, the long-term view, all of those dimensions of the humanities are very much a part of how the Divinity School addresses questions of religion and belief.
What I found when I first stepped foot on the campus was something far different than my limited understandings and assumptions of what was here. What I found was an incredibly diverse student body, diverse not just in a racial or ethnic or socioeconomic way, but very pluralistic.
It is a hallmark of our programs that every student is expected to explore in some depth more than one religious tradition, whatever the focus of his or her studies or eventual career goals after Harvard may be. HDS helps bring a humane perspective to urgent issues in our world today. Whether speaking intelligently about religion, building a business or nonprofit, or taking part in overseas relief work, people serve and achieve more effectively with the combined scholarly and real-world educational experience that HDS offers.
People at the Divinity School, I think, have an impact in the world because they get involved with causes. It's not just about a job, the amount of money. It's about a vocation. It's about making a difference, and it's about trying to do more in the world.
When you come to Harvard Divinity School, you don't necessarily know the path that your career will take in the future. It opens up to you and opportunities are out there. I had no idea when I was there that some of the skills I learned at Harvard would be helpful for me as a philanthropist. I had no idea that some of those skills were going to help me tremendously in Ground Zero and help me to become one of the leaders in New York.
It gave me a code, or at least a courage to facilitate a management style and a business purpose that wasn't just about maximizing top line and dividing up the wealth among shareholders. It was about all of the relations that we have.
HDS is one of a handful of graduate programs that train the majority of the religion scholars who staff our nation's colleges and universities. This school has repeatedly charted new paths in the study of religion.
I think one of the biggest mistakes you can make about religion is to separate religion off as a separate category and to put it way over here. We tend to do that in the United States because we've been taught about the separation of church and state, which we somehow turn into the separation of religion from everything else. Religions don't work that way. Study of religion can't work that way. It's essential in order to understand religion that you be thinking about the whole of human experience.
I think for too long, members of our society have confined persons who are studying religion to the realms of these. And so thus, if you have an interest or a passion and knowledge about learning about religious cultures and religious histories, then that means that you are going to serve a particular community in a clerical role. But that's just not true. And if anything, we know now in a post-9/11 world that religious questions are on the hearts and the minds of so many Americans and persons throughout this planet that we have to begin raising the level of dialogue. And I believe that's exactly what we're doing here at Harvard Divinity School.
To meet these commitments, since 2003, we've more than doubled the amount of financial aid HDS offers, thanks in good part to recent giving and past pledges. But there is more still to be done.
The school has two minimal goals. Number one is to make sure that no otherwise highly qualified student doesn't come to Harvard Divinity School because of his or her financial circumstance. The other goal is to make sure that when a student graduates, he or she is in a position to accept their first choice of a job rather than a second or third choice because their debt burdens might be too high.
Congratulations. I love our students. They are not only smart, and we like to think they come up pretty well educated at the end of this, but they also care about things. And they go out and they do work that is important in social change in our country, devising new products. They're innovative, they're creative, and they go out into the whole world.
Supporters of the Divinity School have established professorships that we fill with some of the most accomplished scholars in the world. Those supporters also help us offer generous financial aid for our exceptional students. And at HDS, that means more than 90% of our student body. These gifts to HDS, however, are not just for today's students.
I think Harvard, as they have in so many areas, is sort of expected to take the leadership in things like this. So I think Harvard should have the best divinity school around, and that's what they try to have. And I think in many ways, they have succeeded. And so the best needs to be supported. We don't only have responsibility for pulling up the worst, but we have responsibility for making the best even better.
I'm not going to pretend I wanted to be in Ground Zero. I didn't, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. My thinking to myself was, I think I could not live with myself in years from now if I don't go down there. But I felt that I had had the high privilege of the best education I could receive. I received that education from people who gave to Harvard Divinity School and made that possible for me. An investment in Harvard Divinity School is an investment in the greatest future that we could hope to have.
In every walk of life, the world cries out for leadership. We have an alarming lack of leadership around the world. Where are the great leaders of the past? I think they're coming from the graduates of the Harvard Divinity School. Broad-gauge, thoughtful people who will be thought leaders in the world of religions.
HDS is ready for the challenges of the 21st century, but to meet those challenges and to reach our full potential, we do need support. Donors in the past have helped us to make the school that we see today. Donors now and in the future will allow us to continue turning the gifts of a Harvard Divinity School education into world-changing actions and careers. William James once said, "Act as if what you do makes a difference." It does.